Hi, BiFFs.
Hey, Beth.
Dear Abby.
Dear Kiki.
Captain.
Red flag.
Cheers to you.
Desperate housewife.
Pinot Grigio.
Doesn't want to marry
Loser
you.
power.
Love you like I
Or
love
more
you.
wine.
Just gonna say that.
Don't
talk to yourself.
Cheers, Biff. Cheers.
Ill-advised.
Ill-advised. This is Ill-advised.
Hi, Beths.
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome to Ill-advised.
The podcast where two best friends tell you what to do when someone else already has.
Yep.
You're getting sloppy in your old age, Biff.
You're only very few months behind me, sir.
Listen, months are months.
Not when you don't know how many months are going by
I'll catch up in 4 months.
for your second birthday.
For my second birthday, yes. We'll never get past that.
No. How you doing?
Why do I feel like we've never done this before?
I know. Did we take time off?
No.
We didn't record our own episode. Oh, well, we still
did.
We did. But
We did. I guess we'll start with updates then.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Can I say a quick update?
Yeah, of course you can.
My nephew was just born yesterday.
Oh, he's so adorable.
excited.
Congratulations.
He's so perfect. I know.
Congratulations to your brother, too. I can't believe I actually didn't text him. I need to.
Yeah.
That's terrible of me.
What kind of biff are you?
A cunty one.
Not what I was thinking, but you said
My
it.
shoe fits.
Big old feet.
Big
biff.
old cunt. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
I think we've been over this
We
before.
can say whatever we want.
Okay. As long as I'm not referring to a woman that way, I'm fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
I am totally okay with it.
You identify as male.
Yes.
So,
Yes, I do.
All as well.
I do. Well, it depends on the time of day. But yes.
Fair enough.
On most occasions.
We are on the same cycle.
We are. Are we ragging right now?
No.
Good,
Just
because I'm in a
finished.
really good mood. It's 73 degrees outside.
I know,
and inside.
finally. And inside.
And inside. I decided I was going to wear white today and roll up my pants like I'm wearing capris because I have nothing better to do
Yeah.
except sit by my computer at work and watch the shit show unfold. Other than that,
Gotta love it.
I was just really excited. I was like, I'm going to wear a white tee. I'm going to roll my pants. I'm going to wear my nice little shoes that my boyfriend got me for my birthday last year. And I'm just going to enjoy this weather.
Yeah.
And it was freezing inside the house.
Yes, that house is cold.
It's cold, but outside it was beautiful. So I'm all for it.
I know. It is gorgeous out finally.
A quick wellness check before our updates. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm actually doing a lot. Well, I don't want to say better. I'm doing good. I am actively working through some things. I am working on forgiving myself, but also being proud of myself.
Doing both at the same time.
It's a bit contradicting.
They're two very big endeavors.
Yeah, but also contradicting. How can I feel proud of myself if I'm trying to forgive myself from some shit?
I mean,
so
it also depends on those topics too. It's acknowledgement is what it really comes down to. But I just think that those two subjects alone are just huge to take on one at a time.
Yeah.
That you're like, are you like worried at all about spreading yourself thin doing that? Or is that like part of the process? Is it, acknowledging both of those where you need to forgive yourself and kind of where you can be proud of yourself and, I'm trying to say finding that sweet spot.
I do know what you're trying to say. Honestly, I think my focus is on working on feeling proud of myself, and that allows me to forgive myself.
Okay, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's kind of where, because if I was just like, I just need to forgive myself, I'm not going to feel very proud of myself and how far I've come and what I've had to endure the last year, if not 4 years. And my mind is like, be fucking proud of yourself.
Be fucking proud of yourself.
Not only did you make it, but like, you're doing good. It's not like you just coasted through it. Like, you're actually doing good. And that's allowing me to like, hey, I just need to forgive myself. And like, it is what it is. I'm actively working through things, and you know what I mean? So
yep. That's amazing shit right there.
Yeah, thanks.
No, good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Well, yeah, I would say that like we go through these ebbs and flows, right? Peaks and valleys, like of the way that we feel, and kind of tying together those two things is actually it's genius in my opinion, because I don't think I would have ever, you know, put those two things together, like try to work on one and seeing the result on the other side. But then that just kind of adds to that pride, right? Where you're like able to forgive yourself and you've come to that conclusion and now you feel better about yourself, not just because you're going through the process, but also because, you know, you can add a little bit more to that pride because you forgave yourself.
Right.
It's like a continuous, it's like you're kind of feeding into yourself, which is in a positive way, which I think is really great.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Good.
Yeah. What
Excellent.
about you? How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't know how to say this without giving away our ill-advised news. So can we jump there first and then come back?
Absolutely.
So do you want to say it? I mean,
No,
it's pretty great.
You're going to say it better than I will. Okay.
We had the absolute supreme privilege of recording an episode with the Consent to Treat podcast with Rachel Sievers.
Yes.
Where we did a couples counseling session.
Yep.
And it was actually very eye-opening for me.
Absolutely, me too.
And you can check that out. That just aired this past Monday. So Consent to Treat podcast. I recommend, we've talked about it on the air before. I think it's a fantastic podcast.
It's so brilliant. It's so brilliant.
Brilliant. It's fantastic. You actually start to root for these people who are going through therapy and overcoming these obstacles.
Yes, because it's just real life people.
It's real life people. Like, this is my type of reality TV. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I mean. This podcast is just so brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Like, I've never heard of that before.
So it's wonderful. And Rachel is just so spectacular in the way she articulates. Be sure to follow her on social media. She's on social media as Rachel M. Sievers, but you can find her podcast wherever you get your podcast. Hopefully, sometime soon, we'll have her on our podcast to correct us.
Correct you.
Correct me.
Actually, no, because you were the columnist.
I'm the columnist. Yeah, no. So I was actually thinking about that on the way here because, well, not because anything, but other than just having participated in that podcast. But I was thinking about how the dynamic's going to work because you're like very like in tune psychologically. Like you haven't had clinical experience, but you're very good at it. And you're working toward getting that experience, which is fantastic. And I'm just like a person that has interest.
You're very logical in like...
Sure. I think I'm just interested and in tune with other people maybe. But
you're definitely in tune with other people, but you're also, I guess that's the only word I have for you. Like, well, logical.
Thank you.
Like,
I'll take it.
Like, you'll come up with things that I'm like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, right. That makes sense.
But we balance each other out that way too, which I think is really great. But I was just like, we're going to have the clinical, then the pseudo-clinical, and then me. And I'm just like, should I be intimidated or super excited?
Super excited.
I'm super excited.
So excited.
But it's just kind of weird. Like, I don't know, Rachel's totally going to judge me. I was like, but I'm owning this part about me that like, I'm not a professional. I don't research this regularly. No, she's not going to.
You're never way off the mark.
No, not terribly.
Maybe one time.
Not terribly. But yeah, no, you're like, I'm like I don't know, you've come from the more psychologic perspective, things that you've researched and things that you're doing for school and just things that you've been in tune with your whole life that literally translate into your passion. And I'm just going based off of the things that I'm doing for myself, and that I think everyone could benefit from.
Absolutely.
But the fuck do I know? I'm just an advice columnist. But one of the things that we had there, and it's kind of a teaser of the episode, is, we were talking about us and ourselves and what we wanted to see ourselves in the future. And we talked about, or Rachel had brought up, what I'm hearing from you guys is you want to be somebody different in the future. And that triggered a reaction in me. And the first thing I thought was like, no, I'm happy with me. I'm happy with who I am. I'm not saying no to advancement and growth. Right. What I'm saying is like, I don't want to lose this like very open, very grown up, if you will, person. Yeah. The way that that I've expanded like emotionally and intellectually. Yeah. But I mean, again, I'm still open to like, let me become a better person than who I am today. I just I want to hang on to that humanity that I have.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to lose that because I become more enlightened. I don't know if that's really a thing. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like, oh, I love that pseudo ignorance I have in me. But what I am saying is I like who I've become, and I am looking forward to being if somebody different than somebody more enlightened but still in touch with who I am right now.
Yeah.
Because I am not in touch with the person I was back in the day. Not to a degree, yes, but not like, you know, I've changed for the better.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
And so I was able to bring that to my counseling session this week with Fred. And we talked about that. And I was like, because one of the things I was left with was like, Fred, am I okay being happy with who I am, but being unhappy of where I am? And he did this exercise with me.
Yeah.
That I was just like, what the fuck? Where I had to give him a 90-second introduction of myself of all of the hard things in my life. And I have never
Current hard things?
That I've gone through in my entire life.
Oh, in your whole life?
Things that I feel it's important for somebody to know about me, but in 90 seconds.
Yikes.
And then I did the same thing of all the good things in my life, like the positive outcomes in my life.
Yeah.
And I flew through that. I spun every negative thing into something complete, into something like there was a full circle. And I was just like, fuck, I can be unhappy with where I am. I can be like, I can be happy with who I am and still strive for better. I'm okay to not necessarily be proud of where I've come from. Not where I've come from. I'm proud of where I've come from. Like where I've been, right?
Yeah.
And I can still strive for that better person at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was an eye-opening exercise. And I think everyone should talk to their psychologists about it.
Yeah.
And that's my update. I'm sorry. That was very long.
So are you, see, I had an internal response when you were saying that you're not happy where you are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes against like all of my own personal beliefs.
Really?
Yeah. Like you need to be okay where you are.
No, I'm okay where I am.
It's okay to want
more.
I want to adjust.
Yeah, I'm just not, I don't feel fulfilled with where I am. And this is not my entire life. This is just certain areas of my life. Just little things that I can pick at here and there. And that's what this assignment made me realize. Is that you're not like generally unhappy. Right. There are just areas in your life that you feel that you can improve. And you've just proved that you can do that. Mm. You've proved that you've done that.
Yep. Yeah,
so
you've proved that you've done that.
Fucking bullshit. Yeah. It's like shit though. And that's what gets me.
That's the point of therapist.
I know. That's what gets me though. It's like shit you already know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I am fucking great. Right. But why don't I fucking acknowledge that?
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I'm not full of myself.
No.
Fred's full of me. No. But like no. Okay, that was so wrong. Sorry, Fred.
I was waiting for that.
Sorry,
I was going to say sorry, Colin.
Oh, my God. Well, we've done our updates. We've done our wellness checks. Anything else you want to contribute to this mess of an introduction?
No, I think it's a good introduction.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the important thing, shall we?
Let's.
Wine?
Yes, please.
All right. Let's go to France again.
Oui, oui.
The truth is that I went right for the refrigerator section.
Yep.
Because this weather.
Yes.
And I just wanted something cold.
Yes.
And then I looked and looked and looked, and I was like, I'm not drinking Riesling. I'm not drinking Moscato. And this was beautiful rosé from 2021 called Aix, right? Is that what we were determined?
Yes.
It's Vin de Provence, AIX.
Yeah.
Coteau d'Aix-en-Provence, whatever that means. Please send it to me. Aix Rosé is a premium Provence rosé made with dedication and passion. Enjoy the notes of soft, ripe summer fruits such as watermelon and strawberries.
Ooh.
Shall we?
We shall.
Let's shall. Cheers.
I like it.
I do too. Oh, actually got strawberries in the aftertaste.
I don't know.
What do you know? You don't eat fruit. You're not allowed to.
True that.
I really enjoy it.
I do really like it.
I think we're going to have a lot of this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This definitely is a summer drink.
It is. It's $19.99 a bottle. Sometimes it's worth spending the extra $10 on a bottle of wine, people. Have your regulars, have your go-to, spend your $8.99. I would. And then,
I do.
And then as you go out and enjoy yourself a little bit more, pick up a bottle of X.
Yep.
And if you can't find it, find a website that'll send it to you.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
We have a new columnist.
We do. I don't know where these puppies are coming from. And I'm like, oh, they must be new. And they've been releasing shit since the early 2000s. So
yeah, because Google just gives us the same 7.
Over and over and over.
And over.
And I honestly, I Googled advice columns first dates because I was listening to this new podcast with Jamila Jamil. She's been on a bunch of TV shows, but one of them is The Good Place, and she's played Tahani, I forgot her last name, in The Good Place, but people are familiar with her. I know you're not, it's not your kind of TV. But she's hilarious as a human being.
Oh, yeah.
And I just came across it, and she's talking to a bunch of people, comedians, celebrities, and stuff about their first dates.
Oh,
and,
that actually sounds
or
good.
not their first dates, but their bad dates. Sorry, did I say it was called bad dates or first dates?
You mentioned first dates.
Okay, it's called bad dates.
Oh, that's even better.
They're so funny. There's only a few episodes out. Catch up. They're so funny.
Oh, that sounds great.
And they say the funniest shit ever. I never thought I'd hear. It was just so funny to hear her say stuff about like blowing people off, like blowing a guy, or, you know, even these other celebrities where you're just like, you guys say dick. Like,
you're human?
You're what? So I don't know. It's just funny. So it's, if you can catch it. But that's how I found this advice columnist, who coincidentally is right in our backyard. In Boston. It's called Love Letters. And there's also a podcast. I have not caught it yet, but I encourage everyone to, because these questions are great. I don't know about the responses, but the questions are great. Love Letters on boston.com. From what I can gather, her name is Meredith. This first one is from June 16th of 21. He doesn't want to spend time with his son.
Ooh.
Ready?
Ready.
Hi, Meredith. I'm really at a loss, and I feel like no matter what I do, it will be wrong. I've been with my boyfriend for about 2 years, and he is incredibly kind, supportive, and loving. We have so much fun together, and while we have issues here and there, we're usually pretty good about talking things through and finding solutions, except when it comes to his 6-year-old son. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He acts almost coldly towards him and takes no initiative, which I find so hard to reconcile with how he is as a partner. When we first started dating, he didn't talk about his son much, and then as time went on, he seemed resistant to us meeting, but I sort of assumed he was being protective of him. Plus, his ex has primary custody, and the pandemic made things harder logistically. I ended up meeting his son, seeing them together only a handful of times before he and I moved in together about 6 months ago. Now I see that he just isn't a very involved father. It breaks my heart not only because his son is so sweet and silly, but also because my own father was absent and it had a big impact on my life.
Oh.
He says he doesn't like being with his son because it's exhausting. And yes, he can be a bit unruly, but isn't that just how kids are? I try to suggest activities we can do together where his son can run around and get his energy out, but my boyfriend tells me to stay out of it because I'm not a parent.
Oh.
He and his ex have a very bitter relationship, so sometimes I wonder if this is at the root of this. I've suggested they try therapy, but my boyfriend said it would be like couples therapy and that it's weird for me to suggest it. That's so funny. I'm just going to put that out there. Very great timing. He's recently started talking about marriage, and even though when it's just the two of us, I feel fulfilled and loved, I honestly don't think I could marry someone who chooses not to be involved with their child. Do I demand that we spend more time with his son? I would be devastated, but I'm not sure I can stay in this relationship if he won't step up, let alone consider having kids with him. What's the difference between an ultimatum and telling him the behavior that I just can't accept? Hoping for a solution.
Did it mention how long she's been with him?
They moved in together after 6 months. Oh, they moved in together 6 months ago.
So we don't know how long they've actually been together?
With my boyfriend for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I got a lot to say.
Go, Biff, go.
As a baby mama.
Don't hold back, baby mama.
As you were reading this, the only thing I could think of was that he's a bitter baby dad.
Really?
And he's taking it out on his child.
Oh.
That was like, before you even, because she actually even said something about like the relationship with his ex is not good.
Like it's bitter, it's rocky.
So, but before you even got to that part, all I could think of was that he's bitter, he's angry, whatever went down, and he's holding it against his child, which fucking run.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get bitter baby dad, but
well,
I'm
coming from a baby mom.
Yeah,
I have a child. I have a baby dad.
Mm-hmm.
So just from that perspective, where it's like, if my daughter's father and I aren't getting along, he'll tend to call her less.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he disregards her and goes on, but if him and I are like actively not getting along or arguing, he does tend to just call less, or which I don't feel like that's a direct reflection of his relationship with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Because if him and I aren't getting along, I don't want to answer his phone call for my daughter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's where, for me, that's where I went, whereas that he just despises his child's mother and and that is directly affecting his relationship with his child.
Okay.
And that just is so immature, right? That's not something she has right to be wary.
Right.
Especially considering having children with
mm-hmm.
him. Like, if he does it to her, he will do it to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just the best indicator of future behavior is past.
Right. He's got to kind of break that pattern in
gotta,
order for that outlook to change.
He's got to be aware that that's what he's doing and that's where it's stemming from. But then he has to actively work on that and improve that in his child's how old? 6 years of justifying why you're not being a father.
Yeah, he says he's just a handful.
That's like not a thing.
It's not
not a thing. Yes, children are a handful. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
no, I wasn't disagreeing with that. I was actually thinking ahead in the way that I reacted to it, where it's like,
we know he's a handful.
I was going to say, like, how do we translate the handful to like a bitter baby dad? But then I kind of answered my own question, where it's just like people in those positions make excuses too. You know, and it's irrational. Irrational excuses because they just don't have a defense.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Is that logically, like, is that okay to put out?
Yes.
I got just somebody who wants to be a deadbeat, but that, what you're saying, kind of plays into that. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, it directly plays into that.
It's justifying him being a deadbeat.
I guess you've got to take the steps to be a deadbeat, right? Just like you need to take steps to be an active parent, you need to take steps to be a deadbeat. There are things or a series of events that lead you to that designation or title. So I guess I'm just like, he's a deadbeat. No, he's bitter and he's about to be a deadbeat. If he's not already.
He clearly
But apparently he's involved in some capacity. So he's not totally deadbeat just yet.
I am going to disagree.
I was just trying to find a little silver lining.
I know.
Just a small one.
I know. And I'm sorry. I am the rain cloud for this one.
Yes,
this
you
is
are.
a no-go. This is a run. And absolutely don't have children with him, for the love of God.
Yeah. So she's asking about the difference between an ultimatum and telling him his behavior is just unacceptable, which you can't. The difference between both of them is...
An ultimatum is an ultimatum. A boundary is, this doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know
the reality.
I mean? If you want to be a deadbeat, fine. Like, we're either going to hang out with your child more or we're not. My boundary is, this is just not okay on so many different levels. And it's not somebody I want in my life. And damn sure not somebody I want to have children with. Yeah,
like you said, that relationship is indicative of what's going to happen with them.
Yes, you'll have a child with him, and
definitely don't
probably be
kids
great
with this person.
And then, God forbid, you guys break up or things start getting rough. He's out.
But then I think about those people who like leave their families behind, stop seeing their kids, and have new families and live happy, fulfilling lives with them and their new kids. And that's Is that still playing into the bitterness too then? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
But that's also something for her to think about. Like, if he's able to just disown a whole entire family and create this new one, like the other one doesn't exist, like that's just not a character you know what I mean? And then my children are going to grow up and be like, oh, I have 35-year-old siblings that I didn't know existed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think it's not necessarily a case of an ultimatum or like things have to change or things like that, because I don't want to say that your relationship or his relationship with his kid is not her business, but along those same lines, she's not going to change that relationship because she wants it.
Right. To make her feel better about being with him.
Making a decision to be with him. Yeah. So the real question is here, like, do I stay with him?
Exactly.
Yeah. I see where you're going with this. That makes total sense. And I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Pack your shit and go.
Please.
You moved in after 6 months. I mean.
And forcing him to try to be a dad.
Then again, I can't talk.
Just to justify you staying in a relationship with him is not going to work.
No, and it's not fair to you. You're getting your own hopes up.
Yep, you are.
You are.
That's a good point.
And that's really, protect yourself a little bit here. Respect yourself a little bit here.
Tell yourself the truth. Be honest with yourself.
That fucking hurts.
Be honest with yourself.
Tell yourself the truth.
Yeah.
Fucking hurts.
It really fucking does.
I don't think you've ever put it that bluntly.
Yeah, I just fucking tell myself the truth so I can
cheers.
forgive myself.
Ugh. It sucks to be grown up.
God damn it.
So, you want to get to the response on this one? It starts with a quote.
I definitely do.
Are you ready?
Tell yourself the truth.
Quote, I honestly don't think I could marry someone who chooses not to be involved with their child. End quote. Well, yeah, there it is. Sorry. I do like to remind people that some parents are fantastic when a kid is 10 or 14. Not everyone is great with little ones, but he's barely even showing up right now, and you're not okay with it. Also, his resistance to getting help, the idea that therapy on behalf of his child to be a better parent is a, quote, weird suggestion, doesn't bode well for what might happen when the two of you have problems. This is about so much more than his son. It's about how he relates to the world outside of your house and whether you can live in it. Also, quote, let alone consider having kids with me, quote, you don't want to do that with him. The man treats you well, but if having children is on the table, he's not the right partner. You're already so stressed about his boundaries and how he behaves when things aren't easy. I know you want a solution here, but an ultimatum isn't it. He has to want to do the thing, whether it's therapy or spending time with his own child. You could ask about therapy for the two of you, which could be revealing, but you can also believe him when he tells you who he is. I know this isn't the happy answer. Again, I'm sorry. Meredith.
Good answer, Meredith.
Perfect answer.
Yeah, I really
perfect answer. And we didn't even address the therapy thing. Maybe we didn't have to, but that's brilliant. And that's that part right there. Like, tell yourself the truth or believe him when he tells you who he is.
Yeah. Be honest with yourself.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know. At the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't boil down to any one but our fucking selves.
It's so insane to think about it in that way.
Like, we are at where we are at in our lives, good or bad, because of ourselves. Nobody else. Our decisions. Our choices.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
There's another fuck for the FCC.
Next question.
Next. Okay, this one is from December 17th, 2015. Ooh, we're going back in time, Biff. This is...
How old were we in 2015?
That was 8 years ago. So we were 12?
8 years younger.
We were 27.
12 was the math I got. That's why I asked.
I think we were 27. I think that's the math.
Okay.
Yeah. I broke up with him for the 4th time. I'm sorry, Biff. You all right there?
Yep. Still tastes just as good.
I'm struggling with my breakup, which was my decision. In fact, this is the 4th time in 2.5 years that I broke up with my boyfriend. He's an amazing guy and has done nothing wrong, which makes it that much more difficult. He loved me completely and wanted to spend his life with me. We are not kids. I am 60 and he is 57.
Oh.
We have a lot of things in common, but there were some difficulties, namely with money. He has nothing and works very hard and long hours doing a job he doesn't enjoy. The sex was good, but not great. Both of these issues were concerns of mine pretty much from the beginning of the relationship. Over time, I started shutting down and eventually became a shrew, getting upset with him for every little thing. I couldn't stand myself or the way I was acting, which is why I broke up with him the last time. The times before, he was devastated and wanted nothing more than to get back together, and I regretted my decision and went back. But every time, it was the same. Now he is done and is moving on, and I am sick over it. Of course, I don't blame him, because I was awful to him, but I'm now wondering whether there's something wrong with me, or was it just that I didn't love him enough? He's very upset and doesn't even wish to speak with me, which is so different from before. I don't want to hurt him anymore, but I am miserable and wondering if I blew a relationship with the best man I ever had in my life. What should I do?
This mindfuck of a question. You don't want him, but you don't want anyone else to have him.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be with him,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And also you're 60.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I wasn't even going there in my head. But that definitely caught me off guard because I was expecting that to be like 20, 30-year-old.
Yeah, when you said like we're not kids anymore, I was waiting to hear like we're 35.
Yep.
That's what I was.
No, we're close to retirement.
This fucking one. My brain already hurts.
Mm-hmm.
What's the question?
What should I do?
God damn it.
He's basically moving on and wants nothing to do with her.
Yeah, because after the fourth time of being dumped, like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm out also.
Mm-hmm. She didn't like who she was when she was with him. And before, he just wanted to be back with her. And now.
So I don't know if this is a case of she just wasn't emotionally fulfilled with him or if she just has things going on.
My guess, based on experience, she wasn't fulfilled.
Right.
But she also found nothing wrong with him.
Right.
Despite thinking she knew what was wrong with him.
She knows he's a great guy, which is why she doesn't want him to move on.
Because she's like, why am I not giving this great guy a chance?
I see where you're relating.
See where what I did last year?
And the few years.
And
Yeah. I gotcha.
Mm-hmm, thank you.
Okay, so
punishing the innocent, essentially.
But also beating yourself up because why don't I like this really good guy?
Exactly. Why don't I like this person who's perfect?
Trying to force yourself.
But I can't.
Right. But I don't like this person.
But they're not perfect for me.
Yeah.
And I can't accept that.
Because they're perfect.
Because they're perfect and I hurt their feelings. I hurt a perfectly good person's feelings.
So I'm going to let you go ahead and answer this one.
I think I just did. What should I do?
What should she do?
Let go. Leave this guy alone.
Yeah, I agree.
Go. This is what you should do.
Yeah.
It's not.
Also, that's not 4 times breaking up with someone.
Dude, I can't imagine. I almost...
Say it.
Imagine... What was it? Just before, so it's just over a year now. Like I would have put this poor guy through the same thing that I put him through. And I literally like did this big romantic gesture to try to get him back. But I know better. I knew when I was doing it.
What do you think was, even though you're saying you knew better, what was the driving force of you're still going to pursue this even though you knew better? Hope for what?
For both of us.
Yeah. For
him to, kind of acknowledge more of my needs and me to acknowledge more of those quote unquote shortcomings because they weren't shortcomings. They just weren't.
It was just not a match.
They were just not a match.
Okay. So do you think that kind of can come down to something within yourself that you don't feel that you will find somebody who is a good match? So you're kind of clinging on to, this is good enough. Let me hang on to this.
That's one aspect because this can go one of two ways, which that's the first way, right? I won't find somebody that great for me. like, I got to make myself okay with this. I got to make this work for me, right?
Yeah.
The other side is, I don't deserve anybody that's great. I can't make this work for me, but I'm sure as hell going to try. And I straddled that line.
So was
between the two.
Was it when you said I can't find anybody who's great for me, like settling?
Settling.
Because I don't believe that I deserve great?
I don't believe that I deserve great, or this guy is too great for me, or there's just like this, it spirals, right? Because you can spin both of those scenarios in either direction. But that's a big part of it, is like, I don't deserve to be happy.
I'm not going to find better than this.
I'm not going to either. I'm not going to find better than this, or I can find better. There's a self-sabotage one way or the other.
But if it's I can find better, what's making you hang on to it?
Oh, I was just specific to me. Specific to me, this was, I'm not going to find somebody as kind and as... to me.
Specific to you, but like also with the like, I don't want this relationship, but I don't want to let it go. Because I feel like we can all relate to that on some level.
You know, there are instances where you hold on to what you have until you can find something better, so that a part of you is fulfilled, so that you're able to satisfy a need within yourself somehow. You know, I don't know if I can necessarily relate on all of that. There's definitely a portion of me that there was a need that needed to be fulfilled, but there was much more that wasn't. And that's what brought me to my final, like, you know, like, I need to stop pursuing this. It wasn't just him rejecting me in public, but it was, you know, me also talking to myself and talking to you and some of our other friends, were just like, you know, you've got to be okay with this. You've got to let this go, because like I recognized in me that this was just going to be a pattern that repeated itself.
Yeah, you did mention that to me while this was going on for you.
Yeah, I didn't want this to happen. And the big thing was for me, like, to kind of wake up, was like, I didn't want this to happen to him. Yeah, I'm right. He is a great guy.
Right.
Why would I do that to him?
Right.
Why am I doing that to him?
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't make sense. We reconnected sometime afterwards and had discussions about that, and we text friendly back and forth today, but like, that's not the case for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, after 4 times, I can say you should probably cut ties.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's just what I have to contribute to this little doozy.
Yeah, no,
let go.
That was good insight, because everybody has their reasons on why they do stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
For me, it spun in so many different directions, and I can kind of justify the 2 polar opposite ends of these different facets.
Yeah.
Each way, because of how I operate and who I am.
Yeah.
And I know me. And I can't tell you which one I most relate to, because I'm a Libra. That's my defense. And I'm sticking to it.
So at first I heard, because I'm only a bro. And I was like, oh, how accurate is that? And then it clicked that he said, because I'm a Libra. And I was like, oh, that's also still very accurate.
You have anything else for this one?
Just that you got to figure out why you're trying to still hang on.
The problem is, you know what you want.
Right.
That's the problem.
And do you feel like, I'm 60 years old, I'm never going to find someone or whatever it is that
best man I've ever had in my life.
And still don't like them.
Still don't like them.
Imagine that.
It's fine. It's totally okay.
For sure. You got to
you know what you want.
That you do need to let him go.
You gotta go.
And he's right for moving on. Because you ain't dumping me more than 1 time. No, you ain't dumping me more than 2 times.
Gee, Biff. Are you reflecting now? Let's get to the response. Please stay away from this man. How very direct.
I like Meredith from Boston.
If you want to do some self-exploration about why you weren't happy, talk to a friend or find a good therapist. You don't need to date this guy again to figure out why it didn't work. All you can do is trust your gut and move on. It's tough to be the bad guy, breaker-upper, but please know that letting him go is the good guy move. Whenever you're having doubts about walking away, remember this sentence. I couldn't stand myself or the way I was acting, which is why I broke up with him this last time. You're supposed to like yourself when you're around your significant other. If you don't, you have to walk away. If this is how you feel and behave in every relationship, you should absolutely consider talking to a professional about your motivation. But if it just didn't work with this particular guy, give yourself a break. Sometimes two good people just aren't compatible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, readers, why is she having doubts? Meredith.
Yep.
I love that she involves the readers in this.
Yeah, I'm really liking Meredith.
That was really good.
Yeah, and so relatable.
And not just because she sided with us.
And by us, you mean you. No,
What?
I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
I'm just kidding.
This is
totally
ill-advised.
kidding.
We are ill-advised.
Yeah.
I am team. Ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay. From January 22nd, 2021, my husband is a bad kisser.
Oh.
Yes. Hi, Meredith. My husband and I have been together for about 10 years now, and from the beginning, he's been a terrible kisser. He was really sexually inexperienced when we met, and I thought that over time he'd learn to kiss me the way I want, but that hasn't happened. His kissing technique is a huge turnoff for me, so much so that I avoid kissing him during sex. The problem is that he has confidence issues in bed, and if I tell him I don't like something, he takes it personally and mopes. So I've tried to frame my feedback in a positive way, praising stuff I like, but it hasn't stuck. I feel like a broken record, and I'm also just so frustrated and worry we're not compatible. I've even considered affairs. The kissing example is just one of many things he does that bother me, and I'm not sure how to tell him the stuff he's been doing for 10 years now just isn't working without him feeling like a failure. All I want to do is be honest. I just want a good sex life, and I want to talk about what I want in bed without him moping like a sad sack.
No pun intended.
I find a lack of confidence a huge turnoff too, so it's a self-perpetuating problem. What to do here? Turned off.
This is a big one. I do feel like we should mention that, like, it's a thing to have to, like, let people know what you like.
So we've mentioned that communicating about what you want in bed is so important and is a huge component to communicating in your relationship and not just on the sexual front, right? So that's how you kind of convey trust in the other person and how you actually form that bond and that confidence between the two of you.
Right. That's how you build and grow together.
So
learn.
Framing it in a positive way is a really good approach.
Absolutely.
Whatever that means.
But that's not working in this case.
Right. So what do you think? You've done everything you can. You've said it every way possible.
Well, it
but
doesn't
he still sucks.
Doesn't sound like I've said it every way possible. It sounds like I'm only saying what I like or what he is doing well.
You're not saying what you need.
I'm not saying you're really great at going down on me, but you're not really great at kissing my face.
But even that, she's saying like, well, she hasn't given specific examples, but it's been lackluster by her account.
Yeah. So she did say he's inexperienced, and he's clearly, she also said that he's feeling insecure about that.
He gets kind of like mopey and insecure when she brings up stuff.
Which completely impedes on like the whole learning process, right? Like, you're not a bad person for not knowing your partner's sexual wants, needs, or desires.
Especially because those are ever changing. Let's put that out there.
That, but also you aren't super experienced, right? Like, even if you are super experienced, doesn't mean you're going to know everyone's individual wants or needs.
Right.
So to like feel like you're not good enough, or like you're doing things wrong, or you're not satisfying your woman, and then getting all like mopey and whatever about it, versus like, all right, well, show me or teach me or tell me, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that becomes a him issue.
So it's like, yeah. And not only that, but it's like, now I'm just all together. Like, now I not only not getting satisfied sexually, but now like you're a little bit draining because
I have to
now
emotionally babysit you.
Right. Because now you're being a crybaby because you weren't aware of certain things.
Right. Yeah, that's a call for therapy right there, to figure out why that makes him do that. And,
well, we know what, I mean, we can guess why.
Yeah, but why does it,
especially as like a man, it's like, I'm not satisfying you.
Right. But I mean, like, he takes the hit so personally and then just doesn't grow from there. You know what I mean? It's just a constant, like, taking that hit. So it kind of begs the question, like, have you talked about his reaction? Because you said, it's draining. It becomes draining to take care of his emotions because you want your needs met.
Because your ego is bruised.
And because his ego is bruised. It's not your job to babysit, or her job to babysit his emotions when she's trying to communicate her needs.
Yeah.
We can't be like, we can't stop communicating because we might hurt the other person's feelings. That's what it means to be in a relationship.
Yeah, I was just going to say that not only is draining, but it also closes that line of communication.
Yeah, well, apparently there isn't one at all. That right there just discourages it altogether. So is there an open line?
Right. This whole time I've only been curious about like how the situation's being approached.
Yeah, I'm wondering too if
like saying, "Oh my God, I love that," is not even close to like, "Oh, maybe if you kissed me this way," or like, "I'd really love it if you bit my lip while you were kissing me." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they did mention like, I let him know the things that I like, but it doesn't seem to be. So I'm just curious in the way that it's being presented.
The way that it's being presented. I always said
if we're having sex and obviously I'm making noises and oh my God, and you know what I mean? So it's probably difficult to like pinpoint, oh, she really just liked that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know how people hide it. I'm like,
down, left, over.
No, not even. I'm just like, so I've never been so quiet like you.
Are you done yet? Because I'm not.
You're good. You're good. Great. I left a roast on the counter.
In the bathroom.
I gotta go put it in the freezer.
The bathroom freezer.
In the bathroom freezer. It's draining in the tub.
I would be super curious.
Yeah, I think that's very valid because I've always said the best time to kind of communicate what you want sexually is in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Because it's always, it's in the moment. I mean, like, I know you're just kind of like left, right. But like sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to remember. It's like some people learn by application, Yeah. And that's a perfect example of it. So that's like just my 2 cents on like, how is it delivered? Well, here's a good place for you to start. But we don't know anything about that. Just that it's been a positive spin and he gets mopey like his best friend just moved away in college or something.
Yeah. I'm curious if they would be even open to like, maybe if she has like a specific thing that she likes, like maybe finding a porn and watching it with him. Not in like a watch this so you can learn, but just like, oh, babe, I got a little something. And like put it going and just see if he
picks up what you're putting down, like, or what that other dude's putting down.
Right.
If he can't pick it up.
Although, if he responds in like mopey crybaby, I don't know if he'll be open to. I'm not watching some other man bang. Why, you want to fuck him?
Oh my God. Yes. Like the answer is yes.
Right. Why do you think we're watching this?
Yes. Otherwise, I have a roast draining in the tub. Or I'm going to just drain my own roast.
I already said it to spin. What's the specific question? Just how does she...
What to do here?
Yeah.
Because his lack of confidence is a huge turnoff and it's a self-perpetuating problem. His confidence is a him issue and you can't stroke his ego for him. You just can't. It's not fair. It's not fair. But it also sounds like if you're considering an affair, it kind of sounds like you're done too.
Yeah, I hate to say that. Let's be open and honest. Sex is a huge part of a relationship.
Yes. It can't just be sex.
Like,
You know what I mean? Like, it needs to be fulfilling for both sides.
especially if you're in like a long-term committed relationship and this is the only person that you are getting your sexual pleasures from.
Right.
Like, that's a friggin' big deal.
Right.
And
How
you
are
have
you
every
supposed
right
to-
to let your partner know your wants, needs, wishes, fantasies.
Yep. And that's
And
that.
if they're not open to it, that's kind of balls in your court now.
Right.
Pun intended.
I guess, do we want to get to the answer? I don't
I
think...
just really, really am dying to know
Yep.
the approach that she's taken.
Is she giving him like a blue ribbon and being like,
is she
better luck next time, champ? Or, you know what I mean?
Is it just a simple, I love when you do that? And like, that's it?
Yeah.
Because then that's kind of not... Okay, he knows that you like that specific thing, but like, he doesn't know that you don't like the other things.
Right. Oh,
You know what I mean?
That's
That
also
makes
the
a-
important. That's
makes
really
a big
important.
difference.
Like, what you don't like is super important. Forget what you like and whether or not it's being done right, but what you don't like is also super important. You're not going to have a fulfilling,
You're not giving him something to fix if you're
Right.
just saying like, oh, I love when you do that.
Yeah.
Because then he's going to keep doing everything else the same and make sure he includes that one specific thing that you pointed out. So I guess I'm...
Well, actually, so it looks like she has brought up to him what she prefers, and he takes it personally.
So he's just not receiving criticism.
And so I've tried to frame my feedback in a positive way, praising the stuff I like, but it hasn't stuck. So even in a positive light, when he responds, when he's receptive, it's just like 1 year in 1 year out the other. So we didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, he just needs help.
Yeah. Take him to a coach. Is that a thing?
A big, fine, sexy one who knows how to fuck.
Yes, that's going to be a steep fee. Is there a sex coach? I'm sure there is. Not someone who's going to be
like
there like...
yoga sex teachers and...
Really?
Yeah.
What?
You can take your man and go to a sex person who's going to like teach you lots of stuff.
Am I still wearing my jeans?
I don't know if that's optional.
Is that extra? Yeah, knowing that though, it's kind of like you've tried working with him. It's really worth like a last ditch effort conversation. Just like, you know, I'm trying to work with you and have these conversations with you, and you're either receptive or you don't really pay attention, and I'm sorry to approach it this way, but you know, I don't know, maybe we can go to a sex counselor or whatever, you know, but I'm not entirely satisfied, and the way that you respond is turning me off. That's another clear form of communication you have to have. And then from there, if things don't improve, like my recommendation is you're just not compatible.
You either deal with this or you don't.
Yeah, I can't imagine those people who like go years being in sexually incompatible relationships. I don't really get that. I'm like the first time. If it didn't stick, we didn't either.
Amen to that.
Right?
Yeah.
Response?
Yes.
Okay. Many good sex columnists have written great takes about what to do with bad kissers. Dan Savage has talked about it on his podcast. I am not a sex columnist, but I do care a lot about feelings and relationship problems that sit unaddressed until someone hits a wall. That's where you are, and what I'm hearing from you is that you felt unsatisfied for 10 years. Not just with the kissing, but with other stuff too. You feel like you can't talk about any of it because it makes things worse. You're considering affairs. For all you revealed, you declined to tell us even one reason you're with this man. What makes you happy in the marriage? The moping around like a sad sack comment makes me think the two of you could use some counseling so you can work on communication. I think it's worth it because you need help getting through the uncomfortable conversations. Like maybe he likes doing some of the kissing things you find unpleasant. It'd be nice to highlight incompatibilities and learn how to work around them, assuming you can. I want you to think about why you mentioned affairs but not leaving for good. Maybe there's a lot keeping you in the relationship, or perhaps it's about convenience. But the kissing issue and the fear of talking about it speaks to a greater problem. If using positive feedback isn't moving things along, you need more help. Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
What we said.
Literally.
We keep
We just need to
nailing
quit
it.
our jobs and become
I don't know, Biff.
columnists.
I don't know. You're supposed to become the psychologist.
What better columnist than a psychologist?
Yes. And very great point. That's all. That is all.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I guess like moral of the story is just everybody go to fucking therapy.
And talk to your partners. What the fuck? Talk to them.
I know. I don't understand that. Like, I just don't understand it.
Is it possible that you and I have been so vocal for so long about our feelings and our relationships and stuff that we just don't remember what it's like to not be able to have that outlet?
I don't know what it is. For me, I can't I can't grapple with the idea of like if somebody's communicating something to me, especially if it's something that has to do with me, I made you feel a certain way or whatever, and me not being open and like accepting to that, like I can't, my brain can't grasp that, like just immediately being defensive or immediately trying to flip it. Or
there's a part that I can remember of me, or a version of me that I can remember that would have probably responded on the defensive.
Yeah, in high school.
Sure, but even after that, there was just an avoidant part of me, in kind of acknowledging the other person and their needs from being awkward, but also feeling like also always feeling like it was some sort of like an attack on me and my person, you know, but that also probably could be a reflect of the approach at the time too.
Absolutely.
So,
and it's definitely human nature to like feel attacked if somebody's saying like, you made me feel like shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not normal or human nature to be like, oh my God, I did.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like in any point of that conversation, right? Like your immediate defense goes up. Like I didn't intentionally do that.
Right.
I wasn't, but then that doesn't, to not be able to shift to like, okay. Right? Like, okay, let me listen. Right? Because like, especially if it's something that I didn't intentionally do to hurt you, I want to learn. I want to fix that.
Right.
So I can avoid that later.
Yeah. I guess with experience comes a logic and a rationale that you don't experience in high school, like a maturity. But I mean, over time I can agree with you where I'm like, I can't imagine a time where I didn't consider the other person, period.
At any time, right?
At any time.
Even if it's in the aftermath, right? Like you respond, you're like, bro, I didn't even fucking, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But then later it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, my bad.
Yeah. You got to like take a minute and admit you were kind of wrong for reacting that way.
And for whatever you did that hurt their feelings. And right.
Fuck, being a teenager is so exhausting.
I want to be a teenager again. Because I didn't give a fuck about your feelings.
Fuck. I was going to say, because you don't want to give a fuck. Yeah, but this was a good column. And we have a few.
Really like Meredith.
We had a hard time picking the questions too, just based on the titles. So
there's one we're so doing next week from Meredith. From Meredith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's pretty great. I kind of fell in love with Meredith on first podcast.
Love it first. Right.
Record.
We like Meredith.
Yeah. Hearts to Meredith.
And we're going to do at least one more question of hers next week because we
didn't get to it this week. And it was one that you really wanted to do. Okay. Well, that's it. That's all we got this week for our fantastic and wonderful listeners.
Yes, you beautiful, kind, wonderful people.
Keep loving us.
We will keep loving you.
And we will keep loving you.
And you can communicate to us what you do not like. And we'll fix it, okay? We won't cry about it.
We will fix it after a short
We will
mopey
learn.
fit.
Yes, we will learn how to kiss you.
That's fit with a PH. Because we're mature.
Fit with a PH.
Don't forget to check us out on Consent to Treat podcast with Rachel Sievers, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And in the meantime, send us your questions. Let us know what you want advice on, or your comments, your concerns, all of your concerns. illadvisedthepodcast@gmail.com. We're also now available on YouTube. Little by little, you'll be finding our episodes there. Nothing special, but it's just another way for us to reach out. But there are various other platforms. Where else, Biff?
Like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Ill-Advised the podcast.
Oh, fantastic. And thank you to our wonderful listeners. You're fantastic. Everything about you is great. I say just take a chance and listen to the guy. And thank you for listening.
You've been ill-advised.